Hi, I'm Ron Bateman, the Sheriff of Anne Arundel County. Welcome to your Anne Arundel's Most Wanted program, a program where we showcase wanted criminals, highlight open cases, and look to you for tips. You, concerned citizens, that share my same goal, and that's keeping our community safe. You'd be proud to know that your calls have allowed us to put handcuffs on thousands of criminals. So sit back, set your DVR, or grab a pen and paper, and help do your part in catching criminals. You're watching Anne Arundel's Most Wanted. And it's my pleasure to introduce our next guest. Everyone recognizes this man, Marklemansky. He's the Public Information Officer for the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Who'd you bring for us?
I have two today for you. Our first subject today is Jeffrey Allen Barnes. On January 20th, officers responded for a motor vehicle theft at the Mini dealership located at 525 Old Mill Bottom Road in Annapolis. The store manager reported that a male entered the dealership and asked to test drive a vehicle. When the salesperson left to get temporary license plates for the test drive, the male suspect grabbed keys to a vehicle and the paperwork with his name on it and left the dealership in a new dark blue Mini Countryman. The sales rep remembered the name of the suspect and provided that to responding officers. The resulting investigation resulted in the identification of Jeffrey Allen Barnes as the person who stole the vehicle. Detectives obtained an arrest warrant. However, multiple attempts to serve the warrant in Queen Anne's County were unsuccessful. So today we're looking for Jeffrey Allen Barnes, who is a 5-foot, 8-inch white male. He is 50 years old with a large build and has a date of birth of October 10, 1967. His last known address is 135 Cypress Street in Centerville, Maryland. He has an outstanding warrant for felony motor theft. Our second subject is Marvin Thomas Jones. On March 4, 2018, at approximately 6:28 p.m., officers responded to the 7800 block of Huff Court in Pasadena for a stabbing. Witnesses stated that two adult female roommates were involved in a verbal altercation which turned physical. As other parties at the scene attempted to break up the fight, the suspect stabbed an adult male in his torso. During the altercation, a 3-year-old child also suffered a laceration to her arm. The adult male victim was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and the child was transported to an area hospital where she was treated and released. The suspect, who is known to all parties involved as Marvin Thomas Jones, fled the scene prior to police arrival. An application for charges was submitted charging Jones with first-degree assault and other related charges. Today we are looking for Marvin Thomas Jones, who is a 22-year-old African-American male. His last known address is 7820 Huff Court in Pasadena, Maryland. Jones is currently wanted and has an active warrant charging him with first-degree assault.
Folks, if you know the whereabouts of any of those individuals, call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 or 911 24 hours a day. Keep those calls coming in, because I'm telling you, you are responsible for thousands of arrests. All right, Mark, thanks a lot, brother.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Now this is an exciting day on Anne Arundel's Most Wanted, because this is the first time ever I get to introduce Amy Megath as Sergeant Amy Megath for the Annapolis Police Department. That's really nice. That looks good.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who did you bring for us?
I've got 3 today. The first one is Arian Thomas Johnson. His date of birth is March 2nd of 1987. He's an African-American male, 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing 176 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. His last known address is 4401 Penn Street Northeast in Washington, D.C. He has a warrant for second-degree assault and theft from $100 to under $1,500. On December 19th of 2017 at 1 a.m., the adult female victim flagged down an Annapolis police officer on Newtown Drive near Skipper Lane. The victim reported that she and her boyfriend, Arian Johnson, were home when they started a verbal argument. The argument became physical when Johnson started pulling her hair. He punched her in the face and threw a wall mirror at her head. Johnson fled the area, taking her 2 cell phones, credit cards, and keys. The victim had a swollen lip, cuts on her hand, and pain in her chest, neck, and face. The officer obtained this arrest warrant for Johnson. Second subject is Mary Elizabeth Lord. Her date of birth is November 4th of 1963. She's a Caucasian female, 5 feet tall, weighing 103 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. She has no last known address, and she has a warrant for attempted fourth-degree burglary. On October 15th of 2017, Annapolis police officers responded to Cypress Road to serve a peace order. The complainant, who lives on Cypress Road, reported that Mary Lord did not and does not reside at the home on Cypress Road. The complainant obtained a temporary peace order against Mary Lord and reported that Lord lived out of a car that was usually parked on Cypress Road. The complainant reported that as officers were arriving, Lord tried to enter the front door of the complainant's home. When that was unsuccessful, she forced open a rear door, which the complainant was able to resecure, and then Lord tried to force open a window to the home. At that point, officers arrived and arrested Lord for attempted fourth-degree burglary. Lord could not be charged at that time, and officers released her and obtained this arrest warrant for her. And the third subject is Justin Devon Chavez, date of birth October 27th of 1992. He's an African-American male, 6 foot 1 inches tall, weighing 185 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. His last known address is 111 Sabrina Lane in Severna Park. He has a warrant for failing to appear in court on a urinating in public charge. On November 23rd of 2016 at 11:39 p.m., an Annapolis police officer was walking foot patrol on Dock Street when he observed Justin Chavez urinating on the sidewalk. Chavez was arrested and given a citation for public urination. Chavez failed to appear in court on this charge, and this bench warrant was issued.
Very good. Folks, if you know the whereabouts of any of those people that Sergeant Megath just described to you, call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 or 911, 24 hours a day. Sergeant, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff.
And now, of course, it's my pleasure to introduce another regular guest on our show, Trooper First Class Katie Follen from the Maryland State Police. Glen Burnie Barrack, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Who'd you bring for us?
Our first subject to the Glen Burnie Barrack is Sean Lee Pollard. He's a white male, date of birth of October 23rd, 1970. He's 6 feet tall, 240 pounds, an address of 403 Starwood Drive, Apartment E, Glen Burnie, Maryland. On April 5th, 2017, at approximately 01:56 hours, a Glen Burnie Barrack trooper conducted a traffic stop on a blue GMC Yukon bearing PA registration JVZ 0000 on westbound Route 100 in the area of Route 10. The vehicle was stopped for failing to maintain a single lane, traveling below the posted speed limit, and driving on the shoulder. Upon contact with the driver, Sean Lee Pollard, the trooper smelled the strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from Pollard and within the vehicle. He displayed glassy eyes and was unable to locate and provide the trooper his driver's license or registration. Also in the center console was an open container of alcoholic Montebello Long Island iced tea. Pollard submitted to a series of standardized field sobriety tests, which he displayed a lack of coordination and poor balance, inclusive impairment. Pollard was arrested for DUI and refused to submit to the intoximeter test. Pollard failed to appear in district court on November 2nd, 2017, resulting in a bench warrant issued for his arrest. His driver's license is currently suspended, and he is known to frequent the Pasadena and Glen Burnie areas. Our second subject is Angelo Webb, the black male, date of birth of April 19th, 1993, 5 foot 10 inches, 185 pounds, and an address of 2521 Liberty Heights Road, Baltimore, Maryland. On February 2nd, 2018, at approximately 21:45 hours, a Glen Burnie Barrack trooper attempted to conduct a traffic stop on a black 2002 Lexus ES300 bearing Maryland registration 7DD0135 on Hollands Ferry Road at Hammonds Ferry Road. The vehicle had an inoperable headlight, inoperable tag light, and high beams activated. It initially stopped but then fled the scene upon the trooper approaching. It then continued through a red light intersection and at a high rate through a residential area. The trooper followed and observed in the distance the fleeing vehicle lose control, strike 4 parked vehicles, and overturn. The trooper responded to the collision scene and observed the driver exit out the back window and flee on foot, where he was later located nearby. There was a passenger left inside the overturned vehicle. Investigation revealed the driver gave the trooper a false name before later being identified as Angelo Webb. Webb fled because he did not have a valid driver's license. Both Webb and the passenger were transported to shock trauma for treatment. An arrest warrant was issued and is still active, charging Webb with identity fraud, eluding police, driving without a license, and 17 other related traffic violations. Webb is known to frequent Anne Arundel County. Our last subject is Rafael Antonio Ardon Avalos, Hispanic male, date of birth December 12, 1970, 5 feet 9 inches, 170 pounds, and an address of 1029 Martha Court, apartment 3D, Annapolis, Maryland. On October 22, 2017, approximately 10:05 hours, an Annapolis Barrack trooper conducted a traffic stop on a gray 2004 Toyota Tundra, bearing Maryland registration 05R442 on Forest Drive at Gemini Drive. The driver of the Toyota was observed not wearing a seatbelt. The driver was positively identified by his Maryland driver's license as Rafael Antonio Ardon Avalos. While speaking with Ardon Avalos, the trooper smelled the strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from his breath. He submitted to a series of standardized field sobriety tests, which he performed unsatisfactorily, displaying a lack of coordination and poor balance. Ardon Avalos was subsequently arrested for DUI and transported to the Annapolis Barrack. We submitted to the intoximeter test with a result of 0.14 BRAC. Ardon Avalos failed to appear in district court on February 26, 2018, resulting in a bench warrant issued for his arrest. His driver's license is currently suspended, and he is known to frequent the Annapolis area.
Folks, you know the drill. If you know the whereabouts of any of those individuals, call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 or 911, 24 hours a day. And keep those calls coming in because your tips are definitely paying off. Katie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now for those subjects wanted by the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office. Let's see our first subject. That's going to be Sean Michael Imes. Our subject is facing charges for 2 violent assaults he committed in Anne Arundel County. On February 22nd, officers were called to a hotel in Linthicum where witnesses observed our subject assaulting an ex-girlfriend. When these Good Samaritans attempted to intervene, the subject pulled a knife out and then threatened them and fled in his silver-colored car. 2 nights later, police responded again for an assault involving the same subject. He was able to flee once more. This time, officers were given a description of the subject's vehicle. He was driving a silver Nissan Maxima. According to witnesses, the subject used to live at an address on Clear Drop Way in Glen Burnie. We have now received information that he resides somewhere in Prince George's County. So today, we are looking for Sean Michael Imes, who's a 20-year-old black male with a date of birth of August the 12th, 1987. He's 5 foot 9 inches tall, weighs 165 pounds, and has black hair and brown eyes. The subject's last known address was 6511 Clear Drop Way in Glen Burnie. Our next subject, that's going to be Sean Douglas Arbogast. This subject is wanted for violation of probation and is a registered sex offender. On February 28th, a warrant was issued for multiple probation violations. Our subject has not reported to his agent since December. He has been charged with serious traffic offenses, and he was kicked out of the treatment for excessive absences. Probation agents have attempted multiple home visits and have been unable to locate our subject. A warrant has been issued for this subject, who appears to have fled his last known address in Glen Burnie. So today, we are looking for Sean Arbogast, who is a 23-year-old white male with a date of birth of August 8th, 1994. He's 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighs 185 pounds, and has brown hair and blue eyes. His last known address is 103 Water Fountain Way, apartment 203 in Glen Burnie. And our last subject is going to be Gregory Kerr. Kerr is wanted on 6 circuit court warrants. That's right, I said 6. On February 12th, the Sheriff's Office was notified that 6 warrants had been issued by a judge in the circuit court for Gregory Kerr. Kerr had failed to appear for his drug court hearing. Deputies immediately responded to an address on Rolling Road in Edgewater. The owners of the residence were cooperative and advised us the subject had not been seen for days. We have attempted multiple addresses from Edgewater to Pasadena and been unable to locate the subject. So today we are looking for Gregory Kerr, who's a 28-year-old white male with a date of birth of September 20th, 1989. He's 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighs 185 pounds, and has brown hair and blue eyes. The subject's last known address is 3268 Rolling Road in Edgewater. Now I want to thank a few people that make this show happen every single month. First off, the man behind that camera, Mr. Dale Boyer. From my office, Acting Lieutenant Brian Andre, and constant speak. I also want to thank our County Executive Steve Shue, Chief of Police Tim Altamari, Chief of Police Scott Baker from Annapolis City, and Superintendent of the Maryland State Police, Mr. Bill Palazzi. Folks, remember, let's keep Anne Arundel County safe. I'm your Sheriff, Ron Bateman. We'll see you next time on Anne Arundel's Most Wanted.